I do my website, I edit my videos, I create my videos, I film myself, I do all my social media stuff. And I'm just wondering, am I hurting myself by trying to do too much?
Potentially. Now, the thing by doing it that allows you is you'll know how to judge it because you did it. Most people hurt themselves by outsourcing too soon. You know why I was unstoppable at running a liquor store? Because I did everything. At 14, I did the ice and I stocked the shelves and I closed the store. Like I knew how to do everything. So you've been a practitioner of everything, which is huge, which is going to allow you to be able to build. And when I say build, it means when you hire someone to do things, which you will if you keep growing, you'll be able to know if they're good and you need to promote them or if they're bad and you need to fire them because you've done it. Attention is the number one asset.
My question is, I am a full-time martial arts instructor and combat sport coach. I coach kickboxing, MMA, and I'm a full-time YouTuber as well. I've got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube at Hard to Hurt. And my gym has been open for 7 years. I've been doing it full-time in brick and mortars for 9, and I am closing in 2 months.
Is that hurting your feelings?
Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it.
It just became because the business model, the way that real estate and gyms, like it just got too tough.
So I don't have any business. You've talked earlier about, are you a true entrepreneur or do you have entrepreneurial tendencies? I'm not a true entrepreneur. You have a passion for the skill you're selling, not the, So Michael, good news. I got it, brother. And thank you for giving me that daps of like, you got it. Like, good news. You are a prime example of someone who should have a partner. Yeah. That's tough in my space. People that do fitness and martial arts are all flaky and they're artists. So they're,
I'm talking about a business partner. I'm talking about somebody now whose dream in life is to operate a restaurant, be the manager of operating a restaurant, and operating a restaurant and an MMA gym is the same exact business. I love Vayner Sports is in UFC. Do you know that?
Yeah. Chris Weidman.
I mean, Weidman, Corey Sandhagen, like we're in it. I love MMA, but I'm a businessman.
Right.
Like do you understand if you made a video to your 500,000 YouTube people, where are you located, brother?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Even better. Brother, do you understand? Because I'll tell you why I said even better. The amount of retirees that realized that they're like 61 and they're bored and they used to run an $800 million corporate company are going to see this video and be like, fuck it, I'm going to go team up with him. You don't even understand how good you have this. You literally going to make a video and say, and again, I know it's shutting down and I know that you have to like for a year, like decompress, but like if you decide to open another one in 2026, you're going to make a video that says, I've done it before. I know what I've learned. It's like watching the film to a fight in UFC or MMA and kickboxing. Exactly right. And you're like, oh, fuck, I dropped my left hand. And you get better at not dropping your left fucking hand.
That's very apt. And it's funny you mentioned a restaurant. I actually have a buddy. He owns a couple restaurants and he's like, hey, why don't I just do all the parts you don't want to do? But so I think you're 100% right. The only issue why we didn't go that route yet, and I'd never even thought, hey, why not just give it some time? And this might answer my question. I did it because my kids are 14, 11, and 6, and I cannot own and run that program and not be in there 6 days a week. Like I just can't do that, and I'm missing everything. So I want to pull back from the brick and mortar and focus more on the YouTube channel, which I honestly probably would make more money if I did that. But I still love teaching.
It sounds like the gym was losing money. Break even-ish, but it was eating up all the energy and time and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I made an okay living. It was a fine job, and I was very passionate and I enjoyed it. But it's so many hours, and I was missing so much of my children's life.
Brother, picking family over money and business is never a bad decision. Ever, ever, ever. Only is it a bad decision when you're not doing something you loved and now you're between two things you love. But that's a great decision by you. I'm proud of you. Keep going.
So on the day trading and attention, I want to focus on the courses, like online courses and martial arts courses.
Okay.
Am I too late to the game with that?
No, literally today, somebody's going to make their first TikTok and be on their way to being one of the most successful TikTokers. Literally today, somebody's going to start a YouTube channel. Bro, I started my YouTube channel in 2006. When did you start yours?
About 5 years ago.
You mean 2019?
Yeah.
You were 13 years after me. Was it too late? No, you're fucking rocking.
Yeah.
There's never a bad time to start a good business. It's never too late. If you're 80 years old and you still have energy, like, why wouldn't you start a business? Like, the concept of like just waiting to die is a bad idea. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Too late.
I've got a few courses and they do okay. I guess it's just,
Well, that's because you've been wasting so much fucking time on the store. Now you're going to find all these fucking hours and you're going to allocate it to your kids and these courses.
Sir.
You're going to fucking be thrilled.
Yes, sir. You're right. Yes, sir.
I have a side hustle of selling firewood. And then I turned my side hustle of that into a side hustle of content creation, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. And so over the past few years, I've just, been growing steadily. This Friday night will be my 230th consecutive live stream that I host weekly.
I'm impressed.
Recently, I don't know if you're familiar with like tabletop fire pits.
Yes.
So recently I just launched mini firewood. So like I sell mini firewood online.
That's
I went through the USDA certification program to be able to ship it across state lines. And this isn't complaining at all, but like I do my website, I edit my videos, I create my videos, I film myself, I do all my social media stuff. And I'm just wondering, like, is there a point where I should, look at outsourcing something like to a team? Like, am I hurting myself by trying to do too much?
Potentially. Now, the thing by doing it that allows you is you'll know how to judge it because you did it. Most people hurt themselves by outsourcing too soon. So that's number one. So good news. I love that you're doing it because you know how to do everything. You know why I was unstoppable at running a liquor store? Because I did everything.
Right.
At 14, I did the ice and I stocked the shelves and I closed the store. Like I knew how to do everything. Like, do you know why VaynerMedia is a really interesting company? Because I'm the only CEO in advertising at this kind of scale that actually does the work that the company does. All the people we compete with are ivory tower, holding company, accountants, and bankers. They're not practitioners. So you've been a practitioner of everything, which is huge, which is gonna allow you to be able to build, which is huge. And when I say build, it means when you hire someone to do things, which you will if you keep growing, you'll be able to know if they're good and you need to promote them or if they're bad and you need to fire them because you've done it. The amount of people that outsource social media to people and have no idea if it's going well or not is more than most. Can you afford to hire someone?
Well, no, I mean, that's the other downside of it. If like that, I am aware it would require, giving up some revenue that I am making in social media. So
that's called investing into your business.
Yes. And that's how I look at it.
The cliche mistake that most people make, and I can tell you're not fully there. You're on the right side of this, but Dan, do you know how many fucking people's businesses never grow because they need the money that's coming from the business for their lifestyle and they don't put the money back in the business?
Yeah, I can imagine quite a few.
Right. And then something happens and they didn't have any money in the business and they're completely out of business.
Yeah.
All because they needed a new BMW.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So, I think the other thing for you to think about, brother, is it sounds like you can afford something, and I think you should do it just to taste it because the answer is nobody knows.
Right. Yeah. Like right now, I'm like trying to work on like packaging design, for my shipping boxes and trying to,
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question because I didn't view it as complaining. Are you enjoying all of it, or what parts?
Yes.
Are you eating any of it?
No.
I'd keep doing it longer.
I just feel like I might be hurting myself because I am doing so much.
No, you're saying I might be leaving some money on the table.
Possibly, yes.
If you said that you love something, and I saw this way you said it, I believe you. how can you be hurting yourself if you're loving everything you're doing? You're talking financially.
Yeah, and just maybe potentially like missing out on opportunities, you know, and not I guess achieving something as soon as I maybe could. So
well, that's a lack of patience potentially.
Possibly, yes.
I think you're just got to decide. There's two different answers here. There's the continuation of joy, which I would highly recommend. And then there's what's the best way to optimize. And then to your point, and where I'm going to go with this is you could probably achieve all of it because it just seems like you're super fucking obsessed with firewood and anything you do is going to be fucking awesome.
Potentially, yes. Yes.
And so when I hear the amount of times you've used potentially, I would say that I have a really good insight for you. Every time that you have a burning feeling of something potentially might be better that way, you should do it. And then if it's not better, unwind it and go back to the way you did it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's just like, you know, right now I just think about things that I like kind of have on the back burner that I want to bring forward, but then I get into something else. And then it's just a constant.
That's called being creative and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, it's me too. And I have 2,000 employees just at VaynerX.
Whew. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I've got plenty of quote unquote support around me. But like you're thinking about things because you're creative and you got a lot of things going on because you're running your business.
Right. And just real quick on your, you know, the insecurity thing.
Yes, sir.
Like the one thing that's what I'm not afraid to admit, I have small wood.
Good way to set this out. Love you, Dan. Good stuff.
And also on my Friday night live streams, like anytime somebody gives a super chat, I have a little gimmick hooked up where like drops a coin in the cup and we all take a drink. We raise our cups and, you know, we can raise wine glasses if you're ever interested.
Send it over, brother. I would love to. I want to know everything about your mini wood.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much again.
I think I first heard of you back in 2020 during COVID. You know, I was working at a bank. You know, I wasn't having like a terrible time, but I was also like kind of wondering what more can I do, right? And then you came across my feed and you started talking about, you know, finding your passions, you know, chasing your passions, doing what you love, and that really resonated with me. So after that, I started you know, a little private soccer training business, you know, one-on-one private soccer training. And I was enjoying it, but it became draining. Right. So I was like, okay, this is it's fun, but it's taking too much of my time. I'm not enjoying my time with my wife, with family. And it's too much. So then I transitioned into video editing, making highlight videos for soccer players, and same thing, you know, a little too time consuming. So yeah, it started, you know, kind of just posting for fun, right? Posting for fun on all social platforms. Man, I take everything that you say to heart. Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, you know, we reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, got approved for the YouTube Partner Program, and we were excited about it. I was okay, yeah, let's start monetizing this a bit, right? A few content, and then soon after that, it took off 1,000 the following day, an extra 1,000 subscribers the following day, and so on and so. And that's how it's been for the past couple of weeks now, and we're up to almost, I think we just hit 14K this morning. And I saw the generated revenue that's been coming in from that. I'm like, wow, like this is, and I see why people, you know, turn this into a full-time gig. I kind of had forgotten what my question. It was about merch. No, it was about merch. No, and I kind of you kind of answered it partially as I've had you on the background while I've been working. But it was like, okay, I have this Spike. So Spike 17 is my nickname. I had spiky hair in high school. 17 was my jersey number. So I was like 17, and I was okay. So Spike 17 training was in my business, and now I have the YouTube channel called Spike 17 TV. And I've had this merch, right? I've had it for over a year. I haven't really like pushed hard on it to sell on it. I think what I've been focusing on is building the brand, right? Like gaining the followers, you know, kind of telling the story, having people, you know, get emotionally connected to Oscar and to the YouTube page.
Makes sense.
So what I was asking was like, should I keep waiting, right? You
could do both, brother. You can jab and right hook. You're allowed to throw out the merch push once in a blue moon. Like you could do that shit and you're more than allowed to do that. And I would highly recommend you putting it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured. Yeah. And that's kind of the same thing that we're doing with you. So, I've gotten really big into content creating, just making content for fun. Right. And I got reached out by a USL2 franchise, Utah United. Shout out to Utah United Academy. Shout out to Mark Davis. Mark Davis is a huge fan of you, by the way. He's the head coach, kind of co-owner or founder of Utah United, and we just kind of talk about you all the time. And it's funny now that he's watching this too.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess the question would be like, what with Utah United? We're kind of on a mission to kind of stand out amongst all the other.
Don't think in the terms of standing out. Think in the terms of providing value.
Providing value, yeah.
You know what I mean? Back to, you've been listening a little, like we talked to Joey Bats, Vegas, your rivals there, like the way we talked to that lady in the UK. Like, too many people are like, oh, we're going to stand out from all the other, soccer teams, or, like it's not about that. The way you accomplish the standout, the way you accomplish the happiness, it's all the same shit, which is how do you bring value to people, right? This book was originally called Jab, 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 Left Hook.
Right.
Which was a follow-up from a book that I wrote 10 years ago, which is what I was just telling you to do, which is give value, give value, give value. And then you can ask if the Utah club puts out great videos, learning videos of how to start your soccer journey, highlight videos that people think are rad and are escapism. And then you ask for people to tune into the game on ESPN Plus or to buy tickets, you're going to convert better because you brought value.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, Eric, that are going to buy this Fundle book today because it's a thank you, consciously or subconsciously, for the value I've provided for 15 years.
Right.
And because they think they're going to get value, right?
Right. No, that's exactly how I feel. That's why I bought the book. I asked it for a Christmas present back in last Christmas, and figured out that it was barely going to be released right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful to be on here, Gary. And I mean, I kind of, like I said, I take everything to heart from what you say when it comes to, pursuing what you love, not chasing the clout, not chasing the money, chasing happiness, true joy.
Oh, it's always happiness. Like, look, money and clout, slang for reputation, potentially at its best form. Those are good things. Having good reputation, having money, they're not bad things. It's just not easy to sustain them if you're not in a good place.
Right.
Why do so many millionaires burn out and go into addiction or lose their money? It wasn't sustainable because they weren't in a good place with themselves.
I'll try to give you a very short backstory, but I'm building a business with my dad. We've grown up loving mini bikes. We've ridden them all our lives. He literally buys and flips them and fixes them, and really cool. And over the last decade, I've worked as a professional filmmaker making marketing content. So I learned working with business and entrepreneurs, business owners and entrepreneurs, like what it takes to build a business. And so I finally took the leap to build one with my dad. And so for the last 8-9 months, we've been promoting before we've launched our product, and we're about to do our VIP pre-sale for the first 25 bikes that we'll be doing. And I'm confident that we're going to sell out because I think with the amount of hype that we've been building. But my question for you is, once we get an influx of this capital, what would be the best way to invest it back into the company? Is it better to hire people? Because right now it's just my dad and I. Would it be into equipment that can help make our jobs easier? Would it be into more marketing? Also, for background, I left my job.
Let me answer that question real quick. Yes.
To all three. Well, so
the question becomes the cadence, and I think the cadence of which ones of the three are completely predicated on which ones you want to do or which ones you least want to do. And I would focus on what you want to least do.
Yes. Okay. So accounting, I definitely don't want to do accounting.
So then I would hire somebody that knows how to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you can do somebody who's part-time and partial because you're still a small company. So I like to go with either extreme offense, marketing, or plugging holes that is a vulnerability because we don't want to do it.
Gotcha. Now, what if it's something I enjoy doing, I'm good at, like video production, but it also is the most time-consuming element, which takes me away from the visionary role, which is what I'm kind of in the company. Because like I have
the visionary role is not something you actually do. It's something you think. I'm in a visionary role in the company too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do my visioning when I'm fucking in the shower or taking a poop or on a plane or when I'm walking across the street or while I'm talking to you right now, I'm visioning some of the stuff I want to do with virtual influencers for VaynerX because the brain has the capacity to be thinking about multiple things at once. The thing you're talking about, the visionary thing is don't let that turn into some sort of bougie entitlement.
Oh,
like,
no.
Yeah, that's like, what are you gonna fucking do? What are you gonna sit in a room and look at yourself?
Yeah, no, not at all.
While you're editing, if you're like a lot of other good video editors, the video editing a lot of time is your therapy and your time to think as well. So vision while you fucking edit.
That's true. Totally. I understand that 100%. It's something I actually do a lot of my thinking in the shower. That's where I do my best thinking. And I don't know if you'll appreciate this, but my fiance and I moved back in with my parents to start this business.
Of course you brought that up knowing I was going to fucking appreciate it. I'm obsessed with everyone. I hate when people live at home so that their parents pay for their whole life and they're just sitting on the couch and fucking talking shit and doing nothing. I love when people have the strategy to have the humility to move back in with their parents, to save dollars, to reset to a springboard and extract more family time with their parents. Two very different versions of living at home. One is you're still a fucking child. The second is you're a humble operator looking to reset and strategize. Two very different fucking people.
That's exactly I had this realization 2 summers ago. I'm like, we only have X amount of time and I don't spend enough time with my dad. And here's something we both care about. And I believe the skill set to build it.
It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me was that time with my dad running that wine library, like the great blessing of my life.
Yeah, that's I feel that every day. I feel fortunate. I feel like we're living a dream. I was very fortunate in the fact that the only reason I was able to do it, we had a condo. I had to move to the States for a little bit for work. And so I sold that condo and I had a bunch of money sitting in a bank account. I'm like, what am I doing? I could use this money to build something of my own, or I can keep just doing what I'm doing and miss out on that opportunity. And so we took the leap, and here we are 16 months later. We haven't sold a product yet, but it took time to build.
For you.
Look, my business is Twill, the Worldly Leather. It's a brand, but everything has started because I've been 25 years in the leather industry, over 25 years. And I realized that the materials, the leather, when it's properly processed, is one of the most sustainable materials. So that's why, even if I was in the supply chain, I moved completely directly to the consumers, just because I wanted to create a brand where the materials were, where I could educate and bring some products to the people that were sustainable. My challenge is creating this education and bringing this awareness, because there was a big gap. The leather industry is at the front of the industries because of the nature of the business. So
hold on a second. Somebody on Twitch has said they need 100 leather wallets. Should they DM you on your?
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, so thank you so much. So there is my Instagram. So my question is that when I've learned that the many companies are doing, of course, the greenwashing is just saying that they are doing something that is not. But
Right.
Many companies are also doing the greenwashing. So where the greenwashing is where the industries or the companies are doing some of the sustainable efforts, but they are not communicating it. Why?
Yep.
Because they're afraid of not reaching the goal or whatever. So what would you recommend to approach? And of course, social media, and I'm trying to educate, and I'm trying to create every VeeCon. I'm really thankful for the opportunity at VeeCon, because I have had the opportunity to talk to Michael Rubin or leaders like that, say, hey, what are you doing for us consumers? You know what I mean? Because we want to learn. So what do you recommend, or help me to, how can I address this on creating creating content so I can get people, because a lot of people think, sustainable is so expensive. But if we all start, like you're saying, eating healthy, when you start eating clean, you help the soil. There's so much behind it. So
a couple of things. I think, with anything that people think about in these genres, there's the ideological part, there's the financial part, there's the one thing that I always think that for good businesses struggle with is when they start bleeding into shaming people versus educating.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's a humongous issue for nonprofits and for cause businesses. There is a really incredible insight about people. They are visceral to being shamed. People would rather be punched in the face than shamed. Shaming is an incredibly ineffective tool. So I think that the first thing that I would say is, one, the answer to your question is content. You know that. You know what my answer is going to be. But I think how you do your content is important. I think you have to be very thoughtful of being overly empathetic and just keep pounding that empathetic framework with information and patience and lack of emotion. Like, this is something you're passionate about. I will never achieve me fulfilling my goal of making all 8 billion people like each other.
Okay. No.
It's not going to happen. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
Okay. Yes.
So like, it's just execution, right? Like, what is VeeFriends? VeeFriends is my opportunity to scale my message using characters that I know can get to people that I can't.
Yes, but different.
And Jessica said, why the fuck not? Jessica, the reason I don't think I'll be able to achieve getting 8 billion people to all like each other is it's just not the reality of the human race in 50 years based on where we are right now. Maybe we can get there in 5,000 years, but like, we're just too far away from that right now. We've been taught too much to dislike. We lack compassion. We lack sympathy. We're too selfish to be able to be there. Modern parenting is not showing me that they're going to achieve that. So why not? Because fear is a very effective formula.
Well, in fact, that was a bit mistake done the industry did not approach all the sustainable efforts being done. And that's what I'm trying to communicate also to businesses, because if you start doing anything in sustainability, don't make the mistake that the leather industry did.
Yeah, but I also think the bigger issue is that businesses go out of business if they run out of money. And so, like, the question starts to get very heady on this issue. For example, when I hear this issue, I'm like, yes, sustainability process for a lot of businesses doesn't require more money, but for many it does. And it requires, this short-term money, but then long-term it will work out. Money has never been more expensive than it is right now. Interest rates are at all-time highs for a lot of people, or at least in times. Most of the businesses I know are barely holding on to stay. Like, businesses are stressed the fuck out, Eva. People are asking them to, like, business environments are more competitive than ever. AI is looming and changing the whole world. Government's regulations are getting harder. People are asking them to do shit, and they're barely getting by. And some aren't. Some are flush and crushing. And I think when you look, and then there's also consumer demand. Right? Until the consumers demand it, businesses aren't going to give a shit about anything.
This is what is very interesting, because there was a survey done by IKEA where it says that 3 out of 4 are really looking for the sustainable.
Surveys are full of shit, Eva.
Okay.
The way people buy shit is the way it actually works out. But look, I think it will head that way because people will learn. But it's a challenge, again, I think we've touched on a lot of important things. I would say for you, focus on not shaming.
Yes, that's what I've been doing. Yes.
And just information. And then you can feel when you're 99, when you're laying there, you can feel like you gave it your all.
Okay.
And that's all that I'm trying to do. And that's all we're just human beings. We're doing the best we can. And to answer you directly, put out the information.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
I got a question for you. All right. So I started a newsletter. It's called the Sunday Sauce. We do one every week. Don't be like, well, you got to do 90 a week. Don't start doing that. Let me just get the question out, because I know you're about to say it.
No, we rep Sauce Gardner at Vayner Sports, and I was going to help you blow up. Now that you said don't say it.
Now I'm not doing it.
Yeah, sorry.
I spoke too much. No, but seriously, the idea behind it is to to get some real data from like the actual audience that we're cultivating and obviously provide value to what it is we're writing about. My question to you is, what's a good way and a cheap way to help boost the amount of people that see it and sign up? Is it just volume of like, here's what we're doing? Or is it?
I think, look, you're very comedically strong. I would do like a very smart video that is like a normal Nikki Cass kind of video.
Yeah.
But the hook and the laugh is signing up for the newsletter.
Yeah. All right.
You see what you liked it, huh? See,
I liked it.
Bro, I didn't get here with my fucking look.
I like it. No, I like it.
Nikki, I'm really proud of you, bro. I see big things for you. Stay focused. And I see that in you. I see your capacity to be like me, which is just live in your fucking cocoon and don't give a fuck.
Yo, you know, hearing you say that gives me chills because I think, and I'm not just saying this, like, that it just, I believe you and I believe that and I know that for me too. And I like to hear you say that, it's very cool.
And bro, you just got to remember right now, like you're in a good zone. There's going to be times where it's going to be, even though it's natural to you, hard for you to stay in that cocoon.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to get a Netflix special and then it gets canceled at the last minute. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, there's going to be adversity.
Right. Wow, I love adversity.
I know you do. That's why I believe in you.
I love adversity. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Do you know how much, like, I love adversity.
You know what's so funny, dude? And like, it's like when I say that, people like make fun of me, like around me, and they'll be like, what do you?
Players.
Yeah, like what is it? Like I get excitement, and so probably a little fucked up if you think about it. Like I get
bro, it's very fun, bro. I literally want to go bankrupt so I can start again. That's not good. That's stupid.
Like when like this whole thing, people talking about TikTok going away and all this stuff. I'm like, good, fucking let it go away. And then we figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, then what's the next move? Yeah, there it is. Boom.
You know how much attention is going to be up for grabs?
Exactly right.
Banned from it's a slippery slope with democracy. I think there's bigger issues than people realize. Like, it starts with like, they're bad, and then it's like, you're bad. And like, it gets a little weird. But I'm empathetic. It's above my pay grade. I don't know exactly what the fuck is going on.
Right.
But on the flip side, if it goes away, everyone's going to be scrambling, and I love when it's scramble time.
Let me ask you this. I feel like I said, there's the comedic side to me. Like, stand-up's not in the card. Like, I genuinely, I played sports my like business.
You're more. Yeah, I get it. And I'm
struggling.
I said a Netflix special, not a stand-up.
No, I know. But what I'm asking you, Gary, is transitioning, because on the street, although it's all love, but on the street, it's like, oh, dude, the skits are so funny. And that's great. That's
the only thing people wanted, bro. My original fucking business videos.
Talk to me.
I'm talking to you right now. I did wine content only for 5 years. I started making business videos. The comments are literally, stay in your fucking lane, wine boy.
Okay. Good. Yeah, fuck yeah. Now look at you, Gary. Signing books.
So I'm glad. Well, templates. But you know, and they're gonna tell you like, yo, why are you talking this business shit? You should have stayed doing the videos. This is boring. You were funny before. Yeah. And you need to be like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Well, I never do. That you're right. You're right.
Like everyone's like, why are you doing the VeeFriends thing? I like the other stuff. I'm like, I don't care, because in 19 years you're gonna be like, now I know why this motherfucker did the VeeFriends thing. When your fucking kid is wearing VeeFriends pajamas one day, you're gonna understand exactly why the fuck.
So you know what's so funny too? And I don't know how much time we get, but I'm just gonna rip it. I was in Disney 2.5 weeks ago, and at the end of the fucking night, they do the fireworks, right? I was in family vacation. They do the fireworks, and they do this whole thing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy, like Walt Disney, someone I look up to. This guy created these characters, and like, I think every adult should watch Disney movies and educate themselves on what it means to be like a very empathetic, good human being, because the lessons that are taught in those movies are so powerful. And like it's so genius how you take the guy's imagination, you make it into a reality, and then you make these movies about it. You make the amusement parks, and people are learning how to be a good human being through these creative outlets. And I'm like, that motherfucker GaryVee's doing the same shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's awesome. Like it really is. It's
Ryan,
sick.
what town in Long Island did you grow up in?
I grew up in Hewlett.
Hewlett. Nikki, what do you think of Hewlett, Long Island?
Never been. I'm not from Long Island. I'm from Rockland. People
I
think
know,
I'm
but
Long
you're
Island.
supposed to say a bunch of pusses and like make fun.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, honestly, I don't want to. I got all the love in New York. I don't want to say talk bad. Let me ask you this.
You're right.
You when you go to the bagel shop in New York, are you like what? I'm just so curious. I've never seen you eat in my life. I seen the blueberry video, but like, what are you chowing down? You getting like the amount of protein per day?
No, I like protein. Like I've gotten very educated on like getting my protein carb ratio into a decent place. I love food. I just don't eat I don't eat until 7, 8 o'clock at night predominantly. I don't eat during the day.
What?
Yeah, bro.
But you're not getting enough calories. What the fuck you mean? So you're telling me you're just dialed on no food, just black coffee every day until 8 p.m.
Well, I like a little cream in my coffee, but like I'm like chilling. Yeah, like this is like I don't know. Everybody's been here since 10 a.m. Like I'm not moving. Like I've been sitting here the whole fucking moment. And
you're not hungry at all.
At all.
Are you getting in the gym? Are you doing some resistance training?
What's that?
I'm like, I thought you were watching Daily V's.
Bro, I'm fucking like, yeah. Don't you watch Daily Vee?
I saw you stretch. I saw you do a couple of fucking yoga and maybe a little bit of curls and whatnot. But
no, bro, I get protein. I just pound it in the evening. You know what I mean? Can't get muscles without protein, bro.
Good for you. All right, so then you wake up in the morning, right? Alarm goes off.
Yep.
Is like what's the routine to the office?
I literally grab my phone, go poop. Make sure nothing was on fire in Singapore, LA, like all the shit that I have to worry about. And then I shower. I go to the gym 83% of the time. Hour upstairs, shower, office 8:30 or 9 until literally fucking 7. Then 7 to 10 business meetings. You know,
love it.
It's a lot of how I roll.
Around on buying and selling service contracts between like B2B.
Okay.
Negotiation from the purchasing side and the seller side, because I have an entrepreneurial boyfriend who does selling, and then I purchase on my side for my full-time job.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
So any like, especially when you're dealing with like competitive likeness between businesses that you're vetting, or how transparent should we be from the buyer side, and then from the seller side, if they're getting driven to lower pricing because the big dog in town is trying to stay in. Big dog. Hold on, guys. Stay in the game, and they're about to lose that service to like a third party or something. Like, what are some strategies around that?
Well, the biggest strategy.
Or how far do you go, I guess, to
the place you
keep
have
a customer?
Yeah, the place you have to go is transparency to the customer.
Sure.
Like that, like whatever's in the best interest of the customer will always be the future leverage of your life.
Sure.
So that's number one.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're telling a customer like do this because it's in your best interest, not theirs, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how I think like he's always approached it, has always been from the perspective of, trying to be the best, and then also like delivering at a really, really good value. Yeah. The problem is they're like who he competes with is like an OEM. And so, but they're like third partying out their service. And so I think it's,
yeah, I mean, if the service is subjective, that to the consumer, if they don't value it, it's always price and service, and like, it's always quality. Sure. Like in the marketing world, they're like, Gary, these are good price CPMs, but I'm like, they're cheap because they suck. Banner ads on websites should be cheap. It's bullshit inventory.
Right.
Like at Wine Library, if I call my dad right now and say, how's our service? He'd be like, it's the best in the state, but that's because he's grading his own homework.
Right.
So like some things are debatable, some aren't. Service provided is subjective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Price is not.
Right. Right.
What you need to do is make sure the service is so much better that the far majority of people believe that service is better. Otherwise, you'll be vulnerable.
Sure.